All right, we are recording.
No, my Fit aid is gone.
And my mic is on. Just so you guys know, this is the second time we're doing this. I didn't press play.
Round two. This is a good video.
All right, let's do this. Girls Lift Bro or Just Lift Bro. We are having 21 questions with a CrossFitter to a weightlifter. I'm joined by Aiden.
How's it going?
You got a scholarship somewhere, right, for weightlifting?
Yeah.
Where?
To Lenore Ryan University.
And then your @ name on Instagram is?
a.millie.weightlifting.
We're going to roll right into it for the second time. Aiden, have you ever done CrossFit?
I did when I was 16 or 15. Before I started weightlifting, I tried it.
And the workout was?
It was thrusters, toe to bar, and like it was. I think maybe it was a rower. Or
wasn't
something.
it? Well, the skis this.
Yeah. So I remember we did the skier one time and we did the rower a different time. Like we mixed it. Like I was there for a few days, but
okay. So he's had one experience into the CrossFit world. Maybe some more in the future.
No.
How long have you been doing weightlifting?
A year-ish.
Okay, so he's still a baby into the sport. So he's still like getting PRs like crazy. What's weightlifting?
The max competition lift is snatch and clean jerk.
Very simple. So if you guys didn't know, that is weightlifting. It's not the powerlifting movements. It's not bench.
Yeah.
It's not deadlift.
I hate it when people mix those up. It makes me angry so bad.
Even though it's not back squat like as far as the competition aspect, but it is in your program.
Yeah, we use it as like an accessory lift.
Yeah, yeah. So when you see the word snatch, what do you think?
Full depth snatch.
So in weightlifting, you guys use snatch as squat snatch basically, or full snatch.
Yep.
Power snatch would be power snatch.
Yep.
So in CrossFit, obviously, the snatch could be either or. It could even be a muscle snatch.
So
it could
like
be anything.
snatch, like if you just had snatch in your program, it's like an umbrella term.
Well, it's hard because in CrossFit, like if I'm strictly just working on my weightlifting,
yeah,
in that program, which you see me do, I'll do singles,
right,
or I'll actually do proper just work on bettering my 1 rep max snatch and clean and jerk,
right,
unless I'm working on cycling the bar or
doing something else.
Yeah. When you see clean, what does that mean?
Full depth clean.
Full depth clean. So, AKA squat clean in CrossFit terms. You only see the word squat in front of the snatch clean in the CrossFit world, I would say, right? You would not see that in weightlifting.
No.
Yeah.
Or anywhere else, period.
Okay. So it's only in CrossFit, people. When you see jerk, what does that mean?
It would be your competition jerk. So either split or squat, I guess.
And which one is that for you?
Split.
Would you say most people are split?
In the U.S., yeah.
Yeah, because like obviously
in
Asia
different countries, especially in China, they do a lot of squat jerks.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But that's just because they start training them when they're like 2 or whatever.
If you guys don't know what a squat jerk is, I'll show a video right here. That's a squat jerk. Crazy. Because in CrossFit, the jerk could really be anything from shoulder to overhead. If it's a light jerk, 55 pounds, I might as well just push press it.
Yeah.
Because it's a little bit quicker to get overhead than having to get under and stand. Do you ever do touch and go reps?
No.
Why?
Compromises technique.
And obviously when you are on the platform.
Well, yeah, we're doing 1 rep singles, so you should just train 1 rep singles or I guess groups of singles. So like if I was doing a set of 5 snatches for some reason, I would do like, I would pick it up, do a snatch, drop it, reset, do another snatch. Yeah.
Or I've seen some weightlifters like at lighter weights, like if it's under 70%, sometimes they'll do like a clean and to kind of warm up more, they'll lower it down, but then reset.
Well, yeah,
but you never really
like
lower
a
it down.
Complex. Yeah. Unless you were doing like a complex with like floating snatches or something, or floating cleans, then you would like lower it down, but you wouldn't touch the floor. Yeah,
I would say the floating snatch and the floating clean is almost like, floating clean is like the closest similarity to touch and go in the CrossFit world without touching the floor.
Without the touch.
Yeah, it's just like a down and up. Yeah. In weightlifting, can you go right into your jerk or your shoulder to overhead when you stand up from the clean?
No, you have to break. I guess there has to be a disconnect slightly
from the clean.
So like you can stand all the way up and like you stood up and then you can dip and drive. But you have to stand all the way up first.
And then you have to be motionless, right?
Yeah. Like you have to come up like full extension. Like I'm standing up, holding the bar like clean, and I've stopped, my body stopped moving.
Yeah.
And then I can do my jerk.
In CrossFit, you'll see people trying to move a heavy weight fast enough where they'll stand up and the bar will almost like come off their shoulders.
Right.
And I do the same thing. And then when the bar comes back down, that's when I start doing my dip and drive.
Right. So like if I stood up and the bar came up, I'd have to let it come back down and reset. Usually I'd re-brace for my jerk.
Yeah.
So that's just an opportunity.
Going right into your jerk is not allowed in the weightlifting world.
Yeah, neither is like if you're doing a clean, if your elbows touch your knee.
Yes, that's a good point.
Clean, like that's not allowed either.
It's allowed in CrossFit. Can you press out in your jerk?
No. You have to receive it fully locked out and hold that.
And I don't mean to call you out, but you got called out for that once, right?
Yeah, in my first competition.
First meet.
Yep, none of my clean and jerks counted because I would get under it and then my elbows would rebend. So like I would catch it, it'd bend, and I'd press it back out just a little bit.
Yeah.
No lift.
I'm gonna try to have that video right here because I bet any CrossFitter looking at this video
would be like,
that counts. Like, why doesn't that count? In weightlifting, it doesn't count.
It's the smallest thing too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You can't press out in your jerk. Can you press out in your snatch?
No.
So yeah, same rules apply. So press outs are only allowed in CrossFit. And that's usually where poor technique happens, where CrossFitters will know that they can press out.
Right, so they don't care enough to take care of their technique, I guess.
That'd be another standard that CrossFit would have to apply, or the CrossFit Games would have to apply if they wanted to better the movement.
Yeah, I wonder what would happen if they made new rules where you had to lock it out.
I mean, but most people at that
level would be able to do it, but I'm saying like at the lower level, like locally.
Oh yeah, local competitions, it'd be so bad.
Nobody would get any lifts.
No, it would be really bad. Yeah, volunteer judges trying to judge that, it wouldn't happen. In a meet, do you necessarily have to fully open your hips and knees at the top?
No. Like if you're holding a snatch above your head, a lot of people, like your legs are a little bit wider and you're kind of got a soft lockout in your lower body, not in your arms. Like your arms got to be solid, but your legs can have a slight bend to them and it's okay.
Yeah, because you basically just have to make sure you're stabilizing the bar overhead.
Yeah, because if you locked all the way out, then you wouldn't be able to stabilize. So I think that's why that's the way it is.
In CrossFit, typically in the CrossFit Open, CrossFit Games, athletes have to open up their hip and knee completely at the top of any like weightlifting movement, snatch, clean,
right, but
front squat.
They don't have to lock everything out in their arms. So it's a trade-off, right?
I guess. Well, obviously when they do get overhead and find the lockout, now their knees and hips have to be locked out as well.
Right.
It's a lot to look at.
Yeah.
Like that's why people get called out
all the time,
especially online, like during the CrossFit Open, you know, someone's doing front squats and the judge is saying that's good, but really when you slow it down, their hips are not fully opening.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to judge. When you do a clean from the floor, would you consider that also a front squat?
No. Like notation wise, no.
No, it's a clean.
It's just a clean. So like if I was doing a complex, it would be clean written in, it would be a full depth clean, and then another front squat, and then a jerk.
Yes.
A full depth clean would just count as a clean.
Yeah. CrossFit wise, typically if it's a front squat from the floor, they allow people to clean or squat clean for that first rep, and it counts as a rep. Right. Yeah. Even though you're not starting from standing to squatting.
Right.
Starting from the floor into a squat, it counts. When you are doing a snatch from the floor, would you consider that an overhead squat?
Well, no, for the same reason.
In workouts, just like today at our gym, we have overhead squats, and it's light overhead squats.
Yeah.
People they could squat snatch every rep, and that's an overhead squat.
Right, but that's a lot of work, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Obviously, they're more efficient doing a full snatch into the first overhead squat rep, and it counts. Unless it's noted, okay? So I'm adding, you know, unless the workout standard says you have to stand all the way up first, but mostly we allow people to just go right into the first front squat or overhead squat. Oh, I skipped this question last time.
Awesome.
Okay, this is how many reps is considered high for you in the snatch, clean, and jerk? What's a high rep count?
Anything over 3.
Yeah, but you wouldn't go any higher than like 6, would you?
Well, if I was doing like a snatch complex.
Oh, I guess if you consider that. Yeah.
So like I would never do more than 3 snatches in a row. But if I was doing a snatch complex, I might do like a pull and then a floating and then another snatch.
Yeah.
But that's still only like 3 things. So like one complex I just finished doing last month was 3. It was clean, 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 and then a jerk.
And that would be 4.
It just depends on how you break it up.
Yeah.
So I guess nothing more than like 5.
5 is the highest a weightlifter. Well, around 5.
I mean, it
unless
just
you're
depends.
doing like a max
like
set
complexes
or something.
can get pretty gross.
Yeah.
But give or take 5.
So in CrossFit, I mean, I guess holding on to the bar. Well, some people can hold on to the bar for this workout. Randy's a workout.
Okay.
It's 75 snatches.
That's a lot of snatches.
4 times.
Okay.
At 75 pounds.
Oh.
That's 15 or that's 15s on a 45 or a 20 kilo. Yeah. And so you're basically just ripping it.
You're just muscle snatching it, just boom, boom,
basically.
boom.
And then when the grip becomes the factor, people will just start doing singles.
Right.
Or like sets of like 2 to 6, whatever. In the CrossFit world, obviously muscular endurance is part of the weightlifting aspect. So we'll go up basically 75 plus sometimes.
Right.
I mean,
yeah,
and
it
that's
just depends.
That's probably the most you'll ever see in like one
movement
setting. See, Karen, they consider like a weight movement. It's 150 wall balls for time, but that's not a barbell. Do you have different techniques to evolve to for the snatch or the clean and jerk, depending on the weight?
No. So since you just competition lift your 1 rep max, you try to replicate that every single time.
If you're doing a snatch, a full snatch,
yeah,
at 75 pounds, or a snatch at 200 pounds, ideally, hopefully they look the same. Or
they would look the same. I mean, obviously one would be faster or slower than the other, but it should look identical.
Because obviously in CrossFit, we won't just go to that 1 rep max threshold. We'll go light, moderate to heavy, or challenging, and then all the way to a heavy. So whether it's light or moderate, you use a different technique like muscling or kind of a hybrid.
Faster.
Yeah, and holding on to it, touch and going, versus dropping and having to reset every time. You'll see CrossFitters look more like weightlifters if they have the technique when they're getting to like a max lift or they're going heavy in a workout.
Yep.
Have you ever heard of the movement shoulder to overhead before CrossFit?
Or earlier.
Or
today.
earlier.
So no.
In your program, it wouldn't say shoulder to overhead.
It would specify it'd be like push press, or it'd be a power jerk, or it'd be a squat jerk, or it'd be a split jerk.
Do you ever do squat jerks in your program?
I did them for like a primer exercise one time.
Yeah, it's tough.
No, I think I was messing around one time and I did like 80 kilos or something for a squat jerk, and it's just fun.
Yeah, so shoulder to overhead, I would say that's just a word for movements that CrossFit has adapted, because like sometimes it'll be light, sometimes it'll be moderate, and they let athletes just do what they want.
Or up to you to decide what's best.
But the thing that's funny is like whether it says shoulder to overhead or whether it says jerk, you can still
do the same thing.
Yes.
So even if it said jerk, you could just strict press it if you wanted to.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, you don't have to do a dip and drive and get under it. So the shoulder to overhead and the jerk is the same thing.
Okay.
Basically.
All right.
Honestly, I mean, depending on if you're actually working on weightlifting, like cycling the barbell, and it says, hey, make sure you push jerk, and that's just like a separate program to get better at CrossFit. But in a CrossFit workout, it might as well just say shoulder to overhead. In your level 1, so we both have a USA Weightlifting level 1 certification.
Level 2 coming soon.
Yeah, where?
I'll send you the info.
Were you mostly taught to teach beginners with an empty or light barbell or with a PVC pipe?
So even when we were doing our level 1, we would use the PVC pipe to like understand the concept, like a visual representation of the concept, but you wouldn't practice it unless you're using a barbell.
I mean, there's definitely a big difference between CrossFit coaching and obviously the weightlifting coaching. It's very different because I've actually taken both. I've taken the CrossFit weightlifting course and the USA Weightlifting
so
level 1.
What's the comparison there?
Well, there was a lot of PVC pipe in the CrossFit weightlifting course.
Interesting.
And it's very hard to like get into those positions.
Right, because there's no weight. Because if I had a PVC pipe on me, I wouldn't be able to get it past my chin.
Yeah,
I need the bar.
I use my chin to get into the front rack, but then I can't have a full grip on the PVC pipe. My grip is relaxed.
Yeah.
And I have like, there's no tension to like play with.
Against.
Yeah. So, I mean, the external loading is very important when you guys are learning the weightlifting movement, and it doesn't have to be heavy. We're not saying go heavy.
No.
Just light, rogue. I mean, all barbell companies have some type of 10, 15-pound barbell.
Right, or they have like huge bumpers, like a whole bunch of companies
like
make like
tens, or fives.
They have the 10s, but they have the 2.5 kilo bumpers
that are fat.
They're huge. They're like the size of 45-pound plates.
Yeah.
Or the 5-pound bumpers, but they're just plastic and they're hollow, and you can use those to teach techniques. So like a lot of kids when they're young and they're learning, they use those because they're light.
Have you heard of the workout Grace?
No.
So Grace is a CrossFit benchmark. So it's, there's a whole bunch of CrossFit benchmarks, and they're all girl names, kind of like hurricanes, like how hurricanes have girl names.
Yeah.
Like Hurricane Katrina and all that. So Grace is 30 clean and jerks for time at 135 for the guys, 95 for the ladies. If you saw 30 clean and jerks for time, what would you think as a weightlifter?
I would want to do singles.
Okay.
So, I mean, obviously 135 is not heavy, so I'd probably just power clean, power jerk it, and drop it, grab it, start again, like over and over again. But that wouldn't be very fast. So I might try to chain them together, but it'd be kind of dysfunctional for me because
you don't do touch and go.
I wouldn't know how to process that. So,
but if you saw clean and jerk in your program, you would think full clean.
Yeah, like initially, yeah, because there's never a time thing.
Yeah, I mean it's just obviously just
or
weight
unless I'm
technique.
doing like an EMOM, like 1 single or 2 reps every minute for like 10 minutes, like that might happen in a program.
Yeah,
but you get ample time to set up. In the competition, you get 1 minute to walk out onto the platform and start your lift.
Yeah, the basically sister workout of that workout is Isabel. Have you heard of Isabel?
No.
So it's 30 snatches.
Right.
Again, snatches in CrossFit.
Be floor to overhead.
Yeah, it's basically floor to overhead.
However you can get it there.
It doesn't have to be a squat snatch. It doesn't have to be power snatch. It can be muscle snatch. 30 snatches for time at 135 again, or 95 for the ladies. As a weightlifter, if you saw that, what would you think?
Well, that's a bit heavier than the other one, so I'd probably...
Difficulty-wise.
So I'd probably catch it in a power, because it's light enough for me that I'd be able to do that and hold that consistently, but it might go down to a squat by the end of it.
Really?
I would think, because 30 reps is a lot, and I don't do that many reps. So, like, if I was doing it,
we're gonna have to
I guess we'll see.
We're gonna, let's test Isabel. We're gonna test Isabel at some point. When he's done with nationals, he's gonna do Isabel.
Just for fun.
We'll see if he does touch and go or just straight singles, which you'd probably be more efficient doing singles. Yeah. There's added fatigue when you like take that bar down every single time.
Yeah, because like if you're dropping it down, dude, like it's riding on your thumbs and your hands. Like I feel like if you're doing that many reps, just dropping it'd be easier.
Yeah, in your case. Do you ever use the term squat snatch or squat clean?
Not in my programming.
So it'd be snatch or it'd be clean.
Yeah, so if it says snatch, it's full depth. If it says clean, it's full depth, unless it says power.
So really, yeah, it's just either snatch, power snatch, or clean, power clean.
Yeah.
So squat is something that CrossFit has adopted to obviously make sure that people
do the right thing. Because, I mean, if you guys just said clean, that could mean a whole bunch of things, right? So you'd have to specify.
Well, and, we forgot to talk about this. When it says clean or snatch, you can split it. You can do a split clean or a split snatch if you wanted to.
Why would you want to do that, though?
I don't know. There's some people that are more efficient at that.
Okay.
So it's really any style of snatch or any style of clean.
That's weird.
That's weird because some CrossFitters don't get like the right stimulus for a workout.
Yeah.
So like Isabel should be a weight where you can power snatch it.
Yeah.
Typically across the whole 30 reps.
Yeah.
But someone may be like, 135, I could do at least squat, so I'm just going to squat the whole time, and it's going to take them forever. Last question. What are your thoughts about weightlifting and CrossFit?
My thoughts, like when I'm watching CrossFit stuff, I guess, would be like form-wise, like it just like angers me a little bit because people have terrible form.
Unless you're looking at the elites, hopefully.
Right, yeah.
Hopefully they're looking okay.
They look a lot better, but...
That's the 1%.
Even still, like the CrossFit games, you still see bad form. It gets in there.
Yeah, it'll get in there.
Yeah, that's pretty ugly. Oh my God. Oh.
At 350.
Whoa. Okay, Chandler, come to California.
And he usually does in the setup there.
Whoa.
I don't even know what the hell to say, honestly.
I think part of that's just because everybody's pressured for time.
Yep.
In a lot of the workouts, and you don't take the effort to perfect your technique.
So you have some questions for me.
Yeah, just a few. So how would you define efficient technique for the Olympic lifts in CrossFit in different situations?
Okay, if it's light, if it's this light snatch or clean and jerk, depending on like the volume,
right,
most likely people should probably go touch and go. So obviously hook gripping.
Yep.
A lot of CrossFitters still don't hook grip. Hook grip the bar.
Makes it way easier.
I saw a post the other day. There's people that don't want to get strong.
Yeah.
And then there's people that hook grip. So it's like, if you want to get strong,
I guess that's true.
Yeah, yeah. You will lift heavier weight if you hook grip.
That and most power lifters hook grip if they go like double hand on deadlifts. And if they're not mixed grip, they're usually using hook grip.
Yeah, that's true.
Stronger. If
it's light, typically it's touch and go, some type of muscle. So just extend the legs
or really
and rotate.
High power, maybe.
Really high, yeah. Or it'd be like a hybrid. I think of it as like a muscle power hybrid where you're like muscling it, but you're slowly kind of getting under it and standing.
Just a little bit.
So it's not a perfect punch or it's not a perfect like quick turnover and catching in a quarter squat. Yeah. So I'd be super light when you're getting up there. You know, the heavier it gets, obviously now you have to be more efficient, technical. Yeah, and more technical.
Yeah.
So at the lighter weights, you don't have to be as technical, but you still want to keep the bar close. That's basically the main thing.
You're right, because bar path is efficiency.
Yes. And it just takes more effort to obviously swing out in front.
Right, like
and bring it back.
If I'm going to do a snatch and I do this.
Yeah.
Like,
you can
it takes a lot of effort.
You can do it in CrossFit, obviously.
You can do it, but it takes a lot more effort than just going straight up.
So you'll see the people that have the most efficient technique when you get to the heavier weight workouts or like sometimes max lifts in competitions.
Is having a strong snatch and clean and jerk an advantage in CrossFit, and to what extent?
Yes and no. Yes, because you have the technique already.
Right.
Now you just have to learn the skill of moving like the lighter weights more efficiently. So you don't have to be perfect when you're moving those light weights. But it comes down to how's your conditioning outside of just the weightlifting 1 rep max.
Yeah.
The best movers as the elite athletes, like you cannot get to the elite games level having kind of bad or crappy clean and jerk or snatch.
Good to really good.
It'll get you far as long as you have the other skills as well.
About how many high-level CrossFitters do you think are ex-weightlifters?
I don't know the stat. Matt and Tia, and both of them were basically elite weightlifters before they got into CrossFit. So Tia, if you look her up, she went to the Olympics for Australia, and then Matt was just part of like the USAW team, I believe.
Yeah.
So, and then when they were winning the CrossFit Games, they were still, you know, the top 3 people at the games that had the best lifts, if not almost winning the event when it came to the max lifts of the clean, snatch, or whatever, jerk. Those 2 for sure. Besides that, I don't know, because there's a lot of ex-gymnasts that get into CrossFit because of
most high-level women's weightlifters are gymnasts.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And then there's obviously, I think, a lot of CrossFit Games athletes at the elite level that could probably stop doing CrossFit and get into weightlifting and probably do all right. Yeah, will do probably as good or even better than how they are in their CrossFit career.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
One more thing would be, because in CrossFit they don't have weight classes, right?
Yeah. So that's true.
Is being like a bigger person an advantage? Like, because I mean, I see a lot of the guys out there and they're tall.
Well, they look tall. No one's like over 6 foot. So this is the thing about CrossFit is obviously when it comes to the weight events, yes. But then there's also events outside of that where those big guys need to be able to
move their bodies,
do handstand push-ups and pull-ups and muscle-ups. But when it comes to those bigger, heavier events,
strength events, being bigger helps.
You typically see them winning,
right?
If not close to winning those events. All right, that was our second take, and the video is still going, so that's a good sign.
Yes.
Aiden, thanks for having this conversation for the second time.
Yeah, it's fun.
So now hopefully you guys learned a little bit more about CrossFit versus weightlifting, or CrossFit weightlifting versus the weightlifting world. Follow him, follow Girls Lift Bro, and that'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.